Topic one: Introductions to Accountings. Okay, this is the topic, yeah, for these chapters. First one is definition of accounting. Second is importance of the accountings. And third, the professional accountings body and standard setting. Fourth is the branches in accountings. And the fifth one is the accounting circle. Six, uses of the financial reportings. Seven is ethics in financial reportings. And eight is accounting scandals. So actually, for this chapter, overall, I think you might you have a very compressed and for information with regard to this financial accountant and the position of the accountants. So might be as well after you understand all these topics, you might interested to become accountants in future, sir. So why not, sir? Because you are business studies schools, which is if you want to take the professional like CIMA, CCA, you have several exemption as well because you are business students, so you learn about the accounting, even not much, but we try to get a lot exemption for Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. ACCA is a big difficult because in order to get the exemptions, they need to have more subject in accounting on technicals. There are more technicals rather than Chartered Institute of Management Accountants. Business degree, actually, you can get exemption for the foundations and operational stage. So you can go through the management and strategic stage. Okay, if you're interested to become an accountant, there is a way of doing that because you must remember that you must understand in business study, regardless you study management, regardless you study IT, regardless you studies marketing, human resource. If you study in accounting, or regardless you study finance, finance and accounting is a big difference. The most I can say that the most value in business is accounting because if you study accounting, you can become a marketer, you can become work in the HR, but you have the skills of others don't have because study accounting is just like you study legal, something that in order to prepare your financial reportings, there is a certain standard that you need to follow. So the accounting, they have advantage. Even you are work in the government, if you are degree in accounting and even you are chartered, you can join the member of MIA, your salary is a big difference. And then you will jump it up compared to the engineering. You are become higher than engineering degrees. If you are joined for government servant for officers, starting points. Even a degree, they are slightly higher for degree accounting. So that is the advantage of the accountants. Even if you know the former Minister of Economy also, they are from physics. Later on, they are taking the professional degree. So they are becomes, they work in business rather than in operations. Okay. Or by the way, in accounting, not many success in terms of they easily get job, but not many success in terms of very in doing business. Not many because why? Accountant they are not risk takers. They are always play safe, and then they are not they are not risk taker because high risk high returns. But if they are involved, definitely they will success because they know that there is a certain risk, either it's a calculated or not calculated risk. And that is about accountants. How good is the accountants? Even you, if you want to learn, if you now will study ITM, project management, if you have understanding regard to the accountings, actually you give your another add value to your qualifications. So something that you cannot ignore, some things that will take your advantage of when you study accounting. Because as what I said previously, to become a graduate students, you need to master in literatures and calculations, numericals, which is you need to go in understandings, you need to be able to read, you need to be able to calculate. So this is the calculation part, which is you need to understand and you need to calculate in certain area, which is we are dealing with these figures. There is a math inside this accounting. Even I know, I just recently find out that in order to get the professional certification, professional certifications, they are required you to take the ed maths rather than mathematics, because then there is some element if you're good in maths, you should not and have a problems in study accounting. Same goes to who have the engineering background. They don't have a problem of study accounting, but they need to start that in terms of if you do that, like previous, like former Minister of Economics. So I think the Fizila, if you know it. So they are engineering students, but they're good in mathematics. So with understanding, I think you can easily pass. You see, you have a technical skill. So we go to this, what it mean by this, what is accounting? So if you look into this diagram, it will show you that the accounting is a system actually that help a business manage its financial information. So you have information, so you have involved with all the activity. So if you look into this, they will involve in three main activity, which is identify, record, and communicate. So what is identify? Actually, the identify counting is, the first thing is you need to identify your financial transactions. And this means recognizing which activity involves, such as sales. You are the what sales, you are the purchase. If you do a purchasing, you are the your expenses, which is you pay someone else, and then payment. You pay other, and you receive the payment as well. Payment received. So that is the financial transactions. So we come across with the financial transaction in day-to-day our life. So we cannot ignore accounting. We cannot ignore accounting. Later on, you have to pay tax if you work. Then you cannot ignore accounting, the calculation part. You cannot say that I don't like mathematics. You will involve day-to-day with the mathematics. If you don't master with the mathematics, it's very difficult for you to survive for today. So calculation is actually make you make a better decisions, because you need to calculate in order to make a decision. And then that is about the any transaction. That's why if you are master with these accountants, any transaction across, which is okay, today I buying car, for instance. What the transaction involved with the buying car. So if you buy car cash, you're only the transactions of with the asset and with this cash. But if you make loan and the transaction come across with the loan providers, and if you do the loan, they have interest that we call interest suspend, which is you need to pay some interest. And when we pay for installments, then we need to have a transaction, day-to-day transaction, monthly transaction to pay the installment. So the transaction of the installment will be deducted monthly. And then also you have to look when you buy car, for instance, there is an element of depreciation, or we call susut nilai. So there is a transactions that come across with this financial transaction. So any transaction actually, regardless involved with the financial, with the cash, or it doesn't involve the cash at the earlier stage, so there is a transaction entry that we need to record. We need to record. That's why we come to the another stage, which is to record. It's a very important. So if you're dealing with the something that not cash transaction, you might as well not related with something what we call cash flow. There's nothing related with it, because cash flow is something that any transaction recorded with the cash flow. There is a three elements that you need to understand in financial reportings, which is financial balance sheet, what we call is the financial positions, income statement, or we call profit and loss, and cash flow. So this is the three elements that you must understand, because that after you taking subject like financial management, then you understand what actually those financial statements. And that's why in order for you to understand what is the management accounting, we then need to understand what actually is the accounting, what is the financial accounting. So that's why I think in order for me to teach you on the management accounting, you must understand the accounting first, at least in general. That's why we include these chapters just to make sure you have the basic understanding about the accounting before we go for management accounting. And not to worry because on calculation part, we are very focusing on management accounting or costing on costing areas subject area topic then we are very specific to the certain area only not to all because you only have one subject, so we only test you certain calculation that I think is quite basic for you to understand what actually is the management accounting. Have you listening? Because at this point of time, I try to hiding. I cannot see your face now. Are you listening?
Yes.
Okay, so you still can follow. Okay, will you follow? If you do not understand and if you want me to explain further, then let me know. I can explain. I can do that. So we go into another step, which is record. So after identifying the transactions, which means accountings will record them systematically, which is this is usually done in journals, ledger, or accounting software. So if you have the accounting software, so the recording will be started at the transaction entry. So from the transaction entry, they're more or less like journals. I think if you're from my years of study, I never study software during my study time when I took the second and third level for LCCI, London Chamber of Accounting. I'm taking the bookkeeping and accountings, and I took these cost accountings. But I managed to get distinction for cost accounting. So yeah, I think it's a bit difficult to get the decisions actually, yeah, because my English not very good, but the assessment, the examiner actually from UK, yeah, because last time everything is come from UK, yeah? The questions, the exam, so we need to submit to UK and waiting for results. And then there is only currency signs that we are being familiar is a pound sterling. So we use the pound sterling. But day to day, when at my time, the only professional body that attached with the MIA at that time is ACCA. So ACCA, they have a vision, they have a question version for Malaysia taxations. That only subject that we need to we have our version because we don't want to learn from British taxation can, so we learn from Malaysia. But nowadays there's a lot of versions coming in, and most of the currency being used actually not a pound sterling now. For like let's say for SIMA, they are using the international SING, which is we use dollar, so dollar SINGs rather than pound sterling, yeah, to studies. Okay, so we are if you are studying in the conventional, so that's why what I'm brings out now to come up with this like a certification for bookkeepers. So at least you need to understand how it will start. It's just like that is a rule is very crucial for clerical and executive account. They need to know how to key in those figures in ledgers. So if you have that knowledge, I think it's easy for you if you have become top management or management. So you need to understand. You know how the transition is done. That knowledge is very useful, right? In terms of if your staff make mistake, it's easily to spot it, right? Because actually any transactions you easily understand. Right? So that is the component in recording. So normally we record in journal, we record in ledger, we put in ledger. But now they have accounting software, which is we just put in the transactions, and then if you want to see the journal, we go. If you want to record the journal, we go to the journal because normally some transaction also they have a lot of adjusted figure that we need to key in all our transaction in journals, and then we can see our ledger. We can just bring our ledger because our ledger is just like a reporting. So the purpose is to ensure for recording, the purpose is to ensure that every transaction is properly documented. So that is very important. So that's why if you learn about the financial, it's a difference. If you learn about accounting, you are just learning how to prepare a full set of account. This is for me is a skill. It's a technical skills. That's why accounting, sometimes if you learn in accounting, they are considered they are not considered they are also being considered as a bachelor of science rather than bachelor of arts, because they are have involved like mathematics. So in some university, like Oxford University, they consider like bachelor science in accounting, so in applied accounting, because they are more in between, which is why they consider like accounting, because it's a part of skills that you need to learn in order to prepare. It's not just analyzing. On the financial part, actually, is they're more analyzing. But this is the accounting. The starting point to learn accounting is about how accounting is being done. It's being created. How to create the accounting. How to create the financial statement. So with the financial statement, then you can analyze in financial management. But if you did not understand how the accounting is creating, and then I think you did not have, it's very difficult for you to analyze financial management. You want to you want to analyze your financial management, but somehow in the accounting, there is a difference between accounting and finance, can? But at the strategic level, the subject, the lens, the expectation that are when you learn about the accounting, actually you are it's about to analyzing on the financial management. So which means if you learn about the accounting, end up you will learn about the finance. uh, At the end of your knowledge you have of accounting, you lead to your finance. Because if you want to make more money, definitely go to finance. And but if you learn finance, uh, you will not really understand how the financial management is being prepared. So you cannot, people don't hire you become accountants. You cannot be accountants. But if you're accountants, you can be a financial analyst. It's easy for you because you have the basic understanding. So your opportunity is wider if you learn accountants because you learn skills. It's not just knowledge. People hire you because of skills, not because of your degree. But your professional degree prove that you have that skills because you are being tested, like you are testing your SPM, again, 100% exam. And the level of passing is very, very strict in terms of if you got 49 marks, definitely you will fail. Then they will not help you to pass. A lot of my friends, even myself also, getting 49, 48, and then we fail for the subject at the earlier stage because taking financial actually is not professional is not easily, it is very big difficult at my time also. That's why I decided not to take risk too much after doing the exercise. I'm doing the ACCA, but when I'm taking the CAT, pass one attempt, I'm taking 4 subjects, 5 subjects, and pass one attempt, and I'm being certified by the certified accounting technicians because I have worked with the audit firm for that while. So when I've decided to, when I continue for the ACCA, because I'm self-study, because I'm working first, and it's very difficult. So I find out that I failed a few subjects, so I decided I want to continue for, go to college, go to university to study for ACCA. But end up I decided that why not doing the degree first? And then when I decided, when I go for the degree, why not? I'm doing management. I don't want to become accountants because I work a few, I think just less about 4 to 5 months. I'm learning for I'm working with this even I start working. I'm working with the audit firm actually less than years, huh? But the knowledge I'm getting from the works actually is very a lot, huh? Because I consider myself as fast learner. I like to explore. So within a short period of time, I'll be able to do all the job. Right? So I'm being assigned a lot of tasks that I think that at that time I think better go for other fields. This is not real me. I'm more creative people. So I'm more designer, something like. That's why now I look into grant. I always look into how to design apps, webs, which is that we can apply. And because I'm good in designing process flows, so if you want like accounting software, and this is how the flow should be. If you want like risk management, this is how it's a process design. So this is my area of interest actually. But in order for you to process design, you need to expert on the subject matters. So if you want, let's say, if you're engineering and you want to design something, you want to design how to, come out with this a smart factory. So you need to understand how smart factories work. For me, I'm specialized in terms of accounting and specialized in terms of risk management, internal auditing. So I can design those areas in applied to the IT because we cannot run from IT now because definitely your industry technology management, I think you need to have good in IT as well. Even if you read, they say this is the job that I think you cannot learn for today, like arts. They got the West because now we are in the AI area, kan? Accounting. This is accounting. They mention accounting, arts, and then what's more? They say this is absolute, which is outdated. You cannot learn this. You cannot survive this with the subject. Actually, it's not true because the only way that we can fight with the AI is emotional, is the intelligence. Because AI is not, this is something that you cannot done with the AI. So if you have the arts, if you have the emotional in your subject, actually you can complement AI because that's why if you want to become excel in future careers, you cannot learn accounting itself. It is not enough. You have blend with, you have mixed with the IT, for instance. I like your subject. You already have the IT. You already have the project management. So you want to add elements of accounting inside your study in your area. So it can be done in that way. Or you love art, so you can mix with the art in your IT. So you might be different. Your result of imagination is not the same as AI can produce. You can beat AI easily because you have that both elements. And that is very important. And then the last importance, I think, the most important is today, if you want to beat the AI, is the trust. Trust is very difficult now. That's why we go along the way. Accounting is about trusting. If people don't trust you, then there's a lot of things happen worse. Definitely. Okay. So when we goes to another stage, then we go to the third stage is communication. That is the accounting communicate the financial information to use through reports such as income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. So this is the three things that you need to able to understand and to prepare. If you're accountants, your job is to prepare income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. Balance sheet now we call the financial position. This has happened due to the international financial reporting standards. They don't call like profit and loss anymore. They call balance sheet. Income statement also, last time we call profit and loss, kan? But now they call income statement. Because I'm the old generations, I always say that profit and loss, balance sheet. So this is my old generation. But if you are studying for accounting at the schools, now you never see the profit and loss. They call like accountology, or they don't call like accountology, they call, what is, I forgot the name in Bahasa Malaysia, but they call income statements. Penyata kewangan, penyata, bukan penyata kewangan, penyata income, something like that. What is income bahasa Melayu? Also cannot, it's not come across income, penyata ontologi, penyata ontologi, it's not ontologi. Okay, by the way, there's a terms that you need to understand. When we're talking about the accountings, there is a words that there is the terms that being frequently used. So we talk about credit, debit, we talk about the directed, payable, and those things. So it's the common words that you will deal with the accounting people. So that's why when I meet accounting people, I try, it's easy for me to get closer with the accountants' backgrounds because we are talking with the same language. And so they're easily to understand. So we are comfortable with talking with these accounting people because you have the accounting knowledge. The same goes when you learn technical, you need to learn the technical language. If you learn religion, you need to talk about the religion language. Some things about, for instance, like Islamic study, there are a lot of terms being used. But if you're not familiar with that a kind of language, then it's very difficult for you to communicate and it's not easy for you to understand. Okay, so the end up you go to information that is the quality of accounting informations. Okay, so the accounting, okay, after you are reporting, it should be relevant. It should be relevant, which is information must be useful for decision making. Yes? For example, your current sales data actually help manager to plan future productions. And then second is you need to be reliable. So I still remember that when I worked with the Touch and Go at that time, there is a program, there is a, the staff have to do, there's a lot of program done with that company. And one of the program, if I still remembers, the Incredibles, the cartoon character Incredibles, actually the sponsored by the Touch and Go at that time, the first, the films. And we fully utilize all these character of cartoon. We can go to the cinema to see cartoon be sponsored by the company. And so they have a few competition which they call people like either you are fun, you are fun, whatever lah. One of them criteria is either you are reliable. So I want the reliable button, which is how to want that reliable button. Actually, is they are depending on how many button that you can get, how many button that you accumulate. So I got the highest number of reliable buttons. So and I've been awarded as reliable, Mr. Reliable. So I got gift for that reliable. So that's why I still remember with my previous company. I'm working for the 10th company, and I resigned with proper, so I still get connected with my bosses because of I always been responsible. If I want to leave the company, I will make sure I leave it properly. Yeah? Because in accounting, you cannot just 24 hours resigns. It's not good because you are dealing with something that people will know. So you need to be clear certain part of your job, right? Because it's easy for others to replace. Even we understand that and the company never concerns about you. If you are not taking the MC or the MC, they don't care. Yes, we understand that situation, but if you do good to others, people in future you might sense other doing good to you also. Even not the same people, but that is the what we call you buat baik dapat baik lah kan? So something like that. So don't asking about when you do good, don't expect that you can get a return immediately. The return, yes, you can get, but in different form. Okay, maybe your hat. It's one of the returns. So if you think that you'll never get what already you are give, but sometimes you never realize that, oh, I'm giving, the God give me health, which means I'm very healthy. So, for instance, so you never know, but doing good is good. Doing bad is bad. And then comparables. So the comparable, which means the information must be consistent. So it can be compared between years. For instance, like you compare between 2024, 2025. So between company A, company B is a comparable. Actually, is to help user to make better decision. So accounting is just about to, if you see this different the same color, accounting is about to help user make a better decisions. So the accountings, the calculation, why you need to calculate those, because why you need to accumulate those information in order to make informed decisions to the top management, strategic management, board of directors, managers, just to make sure that you make good decisions. Okay, so far boleh follow? Because we are now at the, I need to complete today, I think it's about 9:30, we have to stop. Um, okay, then we see on the definitions of accounting. So definitions of accounting is defined as the process of identifying, measuring, and communicating economic informations to permit informed judgments and decisions by the users of information. What it means? So actually, this definition actually shows that accounting is not just about calculating profit or recording transaction. It is a complete process, okay, that help people understand the financial conditions and performance of the business. So this is one of the skill, because company need you because you have that skill. You know how to process your data, how to process your information, and in order to others make the decision. This is a skills required into the environment. So if you want to become a top management, you cannot work as the engineer, but when you have accounting background, you know about the ground, you know how to manage those, you have become the CEO of the company. So because you have the advantage compared to the operation people. So the operation peoples, there is a, I cannot say don't have, but there is a less people working in general work as the top management, and not many. But if you want to, but is it okay if the engineer to become the CEO? Yes, can, but you need to learn, maybe taking MBA, because you need to study like business management tools like accounting, marketing. Then you can be fixed for to become the CEO, top of management. Instead of you have a very technical skill in engineering. So those who want to excel in managerial roles, they need to study accounting as well. So they cannot run away. But you now study at the first place before you become the managers. Okay, so the first thing that we understand is about identifying economic information. So actually, we know that is the first step, which is this means that accounting must first determine accounting which business activity should be recorded. Not every activity, I mean, in business, is included in the accounting. Only activities that have a financial effect will be considered. So, example, the transaction that should be identified include the buying inventory, buying atau paying salary ataupun receive cash from the customer ataupun paying rent, purchasing equipment, taking a bank loan. So example of those activity actually are not normalized normally recorded directly unless it can be measured in money, including the you know including the employee motivation ataupun customer satisfaction or good teamwork. So identifying mean actually is selecting relevance, financial event that affect the business. Okay. So the second thing that I think the terms that you need to understand about the measuring, measuring economic information. So after you identify the transaction, the next step is to measuring, which is you assigning a monetary value to the transaction. So the accounting transaction actually must be expressed in money terms so that in money terms so that it can be recorded properly. So for instance, like equipment purchase, let's say 20,000 can. So monthly rental expenses, let's say 2,500, sales revenue 8,000, salary you pay 4,000, maybe 4,020. So this step actually is very important because accounting need a common unit of measurement. So actually, the money actually allowed a different transaction to be compared and summarized in very clear transaction in a very clear way. Yeah. So I think so without you measure, you cannot know how much actually is owed, how much is how much the profit you earned, how much expenses incurred. So you would know if you did not measure. And then the last thing they're talking about the communicating. So same that I explained just now. So once the transaction has been identified, so the accounting information must be presented to the form that they can understand. So this is usually done through the accounting reports such as income statement, statement of financial position or balance sheet, and cash flow. Okay, so we try to make it faster. Okay, I think this one is easy to illustrate. So what it understands. So if you look into this, the main objective actually, the main objective is accounting information, actually to provide informations to different user. So you have a different user that had to make economic decision. So let's say what is user? Who actually is your user? So if you look into the user could be the investor, the investor whether they decided whether to invest or not to invest, or maybe the banker, the banks, they need to decide whether to give your loan or not. You want to apply loan, then you need to prepare those. And then to the manager, which means you need to plan your operations. And then also if to the government, when you prepare those financial statements, actually to taxation purposes. So the government also need to collect money from you, because otherwise the government cannot spend, cannot manage the country. Okay, so the basic objective, I think, of accounting information actually is to make investment credit decision, to assess cash flow, preparation, to assess cash flow prospects, to understand economic resources and claim, as well as so all these things that's something you need to understand. So the if you look into the qualitative characteristic, this is the most important step, important part. That's why I try to highlight it to we did highlight it with these the rate tables, the red lines. Actually, this is very important part, which is these are the qualities that make accounting's information is useful. So it should be understandable. It should be reliability. It should be relevance. And then it should be also incomparability. So this is the qualitative characteristics. So in constraint of the accounting information, definitely that everything got constraint as on the accounting. They have some constraint on the timelines, which is the informations of must be provided quickly. So financial report should be given on time. If you in the management, normally you need to prepare with the accounting statement within a month, because your management want to see a monthly statement. So every end of the month, you are very busy. If you work with accountings, you are very busy. You don't have the flexibility on your day-to-day on operations. are very busy on the end of the month. You need to prepare all this. And then you become very more busy when the company want to close account, normally by end of the years. You are very busy. So sometimes I cannot work with that kind of environment. So you become routine of job. It's depend on others. Some others like, some others don't. I don't like that kind of environment. But I took the opportunity. That is the only job that I can do better, so why not? So either you like it or you don't like it. When we talk about the how you want to you want to maintain your getting your salary, then you have to work on that environment. But that is environment of the accounting. They are very busy by end of the month and by end of the years. So this is a normal because of the timelines. And then we look into the balance between the quality characteristic, which is more accurate information may take longer to prepare, and fast report may be less accurate. Accounting must be balanced, speed, accurate, and relevant. And then benefit versus cost, which is information should be produced if the benefit is more than what? More than cost. So that is a very important. If the cost is much be higher, then what problem lah? And then you make the loss. So which means you do not spend, let's say, 50,000 to produce a report that only give you 5,000 benefit. Something word on that. So it should be in order for you to getting profit, the cost might be less than what you expected. But sometimes you need to more spend, but the benefit in terms of monetary is less. Maybe you see us CSR in a company, then I think you might be considered of in-kind benefit as well. So they can transfer to the in terms of benefit. Let's say for government, they will look into not only financial, they only will look to another factors as well. The in-kind benefit. They give you in-kind benefit. Why suddenly government is giving the who knows? Okay, who knows? I just want to hear some voice from you. Okay, why? What's the reason? Is government is giving like 100 ringgit? I think you also got, is it? I think 18 and above. You got Rahmah 100 ringgit? Have you got the allowance in your IC? You receive or not?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Why government is giving is giving money such a way? Why don't they are pay into your account? Why they are put in the in IC? What's the reasons? Why don't you they give your the transfer money to your bank account? Why they put on your IC? The technology is very advanced, because um like Malaysia is on the fintech actually is I think number one in the world in terms of apply to all country, yeah. Comparing to other, yeah, we understand that China is much more advanced, but they cannot apply to whole nations. But we can apply to all peoples, those who have IC. So we have Budi, yeah, so it can be implemented. Why government is giving you they put your money in digital, something like, okay, you have 100, that means you need to spend. You cannot withdraw cash. So what's the reason?
Because
Anyone?
it's easier to control spending.
Easily to transfer funding.
Easier to control spending.
Easy to
Easy to control
uh,
spending.
transfer fund. You mean government easily can transfer fund to citizens, something like to rakyat, rather than or easy to what? Okay, others? Okay, okay. I consider like, yes, the easily company like, okay, we just put one button, just like this. Okay, we transfer all 100 to my card, my the have meet the requirements. So yes, definitely easy. The second thing is you realize or not, the government no need to print money. You know, bank negara no need to print money, paper. So the less so the cost of printing, actually it's expensive, huh? Printing cash, expensive. Now, more and more, we go to digitals, so we can cut certain costs of printing money. And if you keep producing money, actually is you are trying to, because all the money being produced, you need to have some reserve. I'm not sure either US got reserve or not. Huh? They just keep printing. You want to learn how much IMF say? 1 billion. Okay, I transfer you 1 billion now. They just print out the money. So that's why in terms of the monitoring, you need to understand also how secure the currency. The currency can be collapsed at any time. You see the Japanese, the value of currency, if you keep money, let's say you keep 10,000 in yen, for instance, for after a few years, after War II, the 10 meaning for you only have a 10 ringgit, or maybe 5 ringgit, or maybe 50 cents, like what happened to Indonesia. So this is the currency, the value, the depreciations of the currency. So that's why sometimes you need to have the balance between the inflations, because they will, when the price is high, the value of money become less. But we still can manage to control on the inflations. I think in standard inflation, I think it's about 4. I think 3 to 4 actually is the best. When you don't have inflation, also it's not good, because when in economic terms that no inflation, which means unemployed become highest. When inflation is high, unemployed is become lower. So that is the terminology, economics terminology. So government actually, first, they can reduce. But the main purpose of they're doing that, actually they want you to spend. Because they don't want you to keep your monies. They want you to spend. Why they want us to spend? Because there is an economic circle that we need to move our peoples to spend, to buy. If you buy some things, then people need to produce. When people need to produce, there is someone who work, that need to produce, which is you will generate the people. You can spend, people can selling, and that is the circle. So that is how government trying to make sure that we cannot have I think it's like that economic circles, which is people only to spend, because people only to save. You save money, you not spend, then how the economy going to work? How people going to, how like makcik nasi lemak have to sell the food? So if you spend, so they have money. When they have money, they can spend. This is the circles that we need to maintain in order to survive. So government actually is pushing government. That's why they try to increase the salaries because to overcome on the inflations. And that's why you cannot save too much money cash, because if you do not invest and if you keep your money in bank, which is it will come to, if you suddenly wake up for another 10 years, the value of 100 doesn't mean you have that value that you can spend during 10 years ago. So some things that you must understand. That's why if you spend in any other place, they have a interest giving to you, because that is the appreciation value that is compensate on the same level, which is it should be increased in order to make sure that you have the power of buying, not to increase your value, because that time you want to buy, the value that you can buy actually is almost the same that at the time you spend. So you need to understand that. Let's say, for instance, like you have a Canada SP, you spend for years, that you're going to use after 30 years can. So that's why government is giving a lot of interest. Actually, interest is the reflection of the inflations. The cost of living is very high. And so the value that actually you will receive, let's say, you keep for 100,000. The value 100,000 of 100,000 is the same value that you need to spend for the last 30 years, about 10,000. It's the same value, right? Because the inflation is normal, in economics. So you need your money cannot put on silence. You need to invest. Okay, so this is something that you need to understand on the accounting assumptions. We have the accruals accountings, and we have the going concerns accountings. So what is this? So the accountings, accrual accountings. So accrual accountings, that this is, you must remember that before last time, even governments, they are not, the accounting is just like cash flow, which is you spend, then you record, something like that. But now they are moving to the accrual accountings. Accrual accounting, any transaction you are recorded, regardless involve cash or did not involve cash. So what we are doing now is the accrual accounting. So we record it. If we buy car today for loans, then we are recorded. Even we are not paying single cents because let's say we don't have deposit to pay, 100% loan. So that transaction on that day, based on the agreement, must be recorded. But if you base on the cash basis, cash accounting, which is you only record when you're dealing with the cash. But the accrual basis, they're based on the transaction, but you still have to prepare the cash flow statement. Cash flow statement is almost like the cash accounting. The transaction is done by the cash. Okay, and what is the going concerns? The going concern actually is assume that business will continue operation in the future. Example, your asset are value based on continuing use, not liquidation values. So that's why in auditing, so the auditor will identify either you are going concerns or not. There is a going concern company. So that is the common terms in accounting. And then you need to know the last part is the elements of the accounting. I think now it's 9 o'clock. How to complete this very fast. So the element of accounting, actually, you need to understand like what actually is the asset, what actually is the liability, what actually is the equity, the income, and the expenses. So what is the example of this? Okay, I explain this fast. Later on, I go faster. Okay, so what is the asset? So the asset could be cash, could be equipment, inventory, building. So that is the asset. So then what is the liabilities? Tanggungan, liabilities. The liability, what is the business own? Actually, it's like loan ke, creditors, ataupun payables. In UK, normally, my term, normally I know about the creditor debtors. That is the frequency used. But now, we follow, but US use the account receivable, account payables. But now I think the international part, they use account payable, account receivable. So this is the same terms that are being used. So sometimes if I want to teach in Bahasa, also I need to translate a lot of things because I'm studying from, I never took accounting in SPM. So when I study accounting, I'm taking the LCCI. So I'm studying with this UK syllabus. So my terms from all the while actually in UK. And then also when I work, you cannot see any company prepare in Bahasa. In Malaysia, accounting being prepared in English. Even last time I worked, there's a few company of prepared accounting in Bahasa, but when come to the auditing, because our company need to be audited, the auditor is requesting that please submit in. You must prepare report and in accounting in English, regardless you see in Bahasa. In Bahasa only translation. So anything we refer in English because it's very difficult to translate. Because they're giving us some different terms. For instance, like this has happened when we start follow international financial reporting standard. It's very difficult to translation. So we use the English, and later on, if the company want in Bahasa, the translation. So the translation and preparation is different. Translation is very easy. You can send your document for translation, then it's done. But the preparation must be start in English. So that's why if you want to learn in accounting, you need to learn in English, not in Bahasa. So you need to understand what actually is the equity. Equity ni actually, for instance, like owner interest, owner investment, ataupun retained profit, retained profit or retained loss, or withdrawals. So retained profit, retained loss ni dia macam accumulated. So which means from the start of your business, how much the loss that you are getting now. So that's why in the financial statement we know, oh, you let's say for the current period you lost. But we look into your business for the entire, you still recover because your accumulated loss, your accumulated profit actually is high. So even 1 year you are losing, it doesn't impact your organization. So that is on the financial position. We can read the status of the companies. That's why when we involve in the financial, like marketers, financial market. So those who have experience in accounting can understand financial accounting very easy. They don't need, they can interpret accounting in the form of potentials. Very easy. Compared to the financial people, they're based on they're based on the fundamental. They're more on fundamental. We accountants analyze company based on logic, not only on the fundamentals. So with the combination of that must be powerful. That's why they need accounting people inside. Okay, so then, okay, what is the professional accounting body and the standard setting in Malaysia? So this is something that I think you should understand. So Malaysia Institute of Accountants, MIA, actually is the main regulatory body for accounting profession in Malaysia. Actually, they come out with this the Malaysia Institute based on the company Accounting Act. They can come up with the Accountant Act 1967. 1967. So it was said that if you are not the members of MIA, you cannot call yourself as accountants. It's mandated, regulated, which is if you use the terms, then you make the wrong declarations, which is can be caught. Because if you say, oh, I'm accountants, but you are not qualified, you cannot call self the accountants, and you also cannot provide accounting service. If you provide, you'll be easily being caught, because you must join the MIA in order to become accountants. Otherwise, you just work like engineer, you have the engineering knowledge, but you are not qualified to become engineers, something like that. So same goes to with the accountants. If you want to call yourself as accountants, you must become a members of Malaysia Institute of Accountants. So how powerful of accountants? And then with the MI also, you also can become company secretaries, company secretary, not PA punya secretary, not boss punya secretary, company secretary. So later on you will know what is the company secretary. This is the in Malaysia they call that's why for male they don't like you call me as a secretary. Even my job is become company secretary. They call like administrators. That's why you see the Malaysia Administrator and Secretaries Associations. Okay. I did a research about the administrator in terms of an accountant as well. In terms of IR, Industrial Relations 5.0. That is my recent research done. Okay, so main roles of the MIA actually to regulate the accounting professions, register qualified accountants. So you not register, you want to become an accountant, you need to register. So they are you need to register with the MIA, and then they also provide the professional development training (CPD). So I also, as a chartered accountant, I need to maintain my CPD. And so my CPD, at least I have, I think, 20 CPD per year. So I got exempted for 50% because I'm the lecturers. Then I need to fulfill another 10%, which is I need to find out a training for CPD development. For professional development training. I have to go training, no choice. That's why if you work with the company send you for training because we have the HRDF corporation, which is you need to pay some levy, 1% of your salary, company need to pay for HRDF corporations, and then HRDF corporation, you can claim that money if you send your staff to training. So that if you work in the Government, you don't have issue to attend training, because they have a fund for you, allocation fund. And then if you look another second line is the chartered accountants. Okay, that one is the no, MIA. One they recognize you, they call you as a chartered accountants. So if you have untuk become a chartered chartered accountants, you need to have a degree accounting. Last time only public, but now they open for private as well. I think Uniten got, Multimedia got, ada a few lagi yang dapat. And then after 3 years, then they become you a chartered accountant. We have experience. But if you don't have, like myself, I don't have a degree accounting. I don't have a trust, but I using a second, second alternative, another alternative that you need to become a professional degree, which is must be better than degree accounting. Then you can get the if you have like ACCA, you have a CIMA, or you have MIPA. Now you can see the MIPA also. You can join the MIA without giving experience, because in order for you to get the MIPA, to get ACCA, to get CIMA, the requirement to become member also, after you pass, you also need to have another 3 years experience. The same. So then if you become already a member, then you can easily join the MIA. So that is the regulation. So now what is the Malaysian Institute of Certified Public Accountant? MICPA is the professional accounting. Now MICA dia ada buat collaboration dengan Australia, New Zealand Chartered Accountants. So you can get the double degree. I think if you're interested, you want to get the double degree, then you can do the MICPA. I think it'll be tough also because last time MICPA is not easy to pass, but the standard only to Malaysia. They cannot work in all other country. Tapi bila dia dah join dengan others organization, you can get 2 degree, then it should be fine. Because if you like myself, I have a ACCA, I have a CIMA, so I'm easily can get permit if I want to work in UK. So because that is CIMA actually being issued by the UK organizations. Okay. Then MIPA actually is focused on the professional accountants. They punya role provide professional accounting qualifications. They conduct professional accounting examinations. They develop accounting punya talents. They collaborate with the international accounting body. So like as what I said now, like Australia, New Zealand Chartered Accountants. And then, so MIPA ni, kalau you nak tahu MIPA, dia sama sahaja dengan ACCA, dia sama dengan CPA Australia, dia sama je dengan CIMA, dia punya level sama standard. Tapi cuma MIPA ni nampak sangatlah Malaysians. So kalau you buat, better you buat ACCA atau CIMA, you ambil UK, so you ada option untuk work in UK. Okay, so apa pula MACB, Malaysia Accounting Standards Board. Malaysia Accounting Standard Board ni, MACB ni is the body responsible for setting accounting standard. Dia nak setting accounting standard in Malaysia. So sekarang ni senang saja. Dia sekarang ni the MACB guna International Financial Reporting Standard. Dia adapt terus. Dia adapt, bukan adopt, because dia ada do some changes. So dia kenalkan sebagai Malaysia Financial Reporting Standard, MFRS. Actually just and then apa tu FRS, Financial Reporting Standard. So Financial Reporting Standard ni dia oversee the MASB. Dia monitor MASB to ensure standard are developed properly. So dia things like relationship of this. Dia ni macam oversight lah kepada MASB yang ada standard tadi tu. So kalau kita boleh faham, kita boleh tahu bahawa FRS ni dia oversee MACB. MACB ni dia set accounting standard. MIA ni dia regulate to accountants. Siapa nak jadi accountant kena cari dia. And then MICPA ni ialah professional qualification yang diproducekan dekat Malaysia. Dulu masa saya buat ACCA collaborate dengan MIA. So maknanya ada logo ACCA dengan MIA. Ada sekali. You lulus MICA, so dia because MIA dia that time dia tak ada exam. Tapi sekarang ni MIA dah keluar daripada ACCA, so dia buat dia punya exam sendiri untuk mana dia panggil yang mana tak qualified, so dia kena ambil exam dekat dia. I think 4 papers. Then you can dapat qualified untuk join the MIA. Dia ada additional exam. Tapi sebenarnya Rather than you buat exam tu, baiklah you buat professional exam. Lagi senang. Bukan lagi senang, maksudnya sama je susahnya. But you can get second qualification. That's why people don't go sangat yang under internals tu. So if you look into this design, so this is how it will flow in terms of the international financial reporting, international level. Dia ada International Accounting Standard Board. Lepas tu dia issue IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. So International Financial Reporting Standard ni dia normally negara-negara yang guna dia adalah macam UK, Australia ataupun AU countries dia akan guna. And then Malaysia pun guna, tapi Malaysia ni dia lain sikit daripada lain orang ni. Dia tak macam sama. Orang lain kalau apply standard dia akan adapt terus kan. Malaysia ni dia pelik sikit, dia adapt. Maksudnya dia nak buat dia punya version sendiri. Sama juga dengan GST. Orang lain GST sangat standard, tapi Malaysia punya GST at that time, kalau you tahu the story, sangat complicated. Because saya waktu GST buat tu, saya become head of finance, so saya yang kena lead. My company is banyak anak syarikat, holding company, so I'm lead the financial reporting standard pada 2018 tu, untuk make sure semua pakai that standard. Because kita ada public listed company, so semua company tu termasuk dekat UK, dia kena follow that standard. So since kita nak consolidate, so dekat UK pun instead of dia boleh guna dekat UK ni dia tak perlu audit pun untuk company SME yang kecil. Dekat Malaysia company kecil pun kena audit, dia tak perlu. That's what we accountant fighting untuk dapat benda yang sama. Tapi sebenarnya dia ada pro and con. Kalau tanya saya pun dari segi control better, tak payahlah kita follow as it is. Tapi dekat UK you tak perlu because dia kata SME punya accounting you tak perlu audit. Tapi disebabkan kita ada share dekat UK, so the UK company dia kena audit. So that's why when I went to audit firm in UK, so we try to discuss macam mana nak consolidate our account. So we have no choice. So diorang kena buat reporting on IFRS. So actually they incur cost lah for auditing purposes, unnecessary cost just for the reporting. Benda tu accounting straightforward je, tapi because of kita nak accounting and follow that IFRS standard tu, jadi susah. Sebab nak follow that standard tu is not easy because dia ada banyak requirement. So if you become accountant then you know. Tapi kalau sekadar you nak tahu je, okay, tapi you will apply you dekat delay operation. Why company you nak you disagree to buat coding untuk beli barang ke apa ke, because one of the purposes to look into that matter as well or reporting. So kalau you tengok lepas tu satu lagi, you must also understand satu lagi, okay, yang ini IFRS. So kalau dekat US dia pakai apa? Sebab kita kena faham juga dekat US ni. So dekat US ni normally kalau US sebab dia big country dan dia claim dia ni police in the world lah. Kalau kita tengok dia ni kalau apa-apa pun dia tak nak ikut EU punya ni, dia ada dia punya sendiri. Dia kata dia powerful. Dia normally guna, that's why kita nak dapat certification dengan dia ni susah sikit. Satu lagi problem dekat US ni, setiap daerah, you tahu kan US tu besar. So setiap daerah dia, setiap country dia, setiap state dia ada 50 state. Different state, different regulation. Even bila katakanlah I selalu biasa shopping dekat online. Bila you buat online shopping, you must make sure that okay, you must make sure that you kena tahu ada certain country because untuk deliver dekat UK biasanya the biggest logistic company dekat Ohio. So everything will be transport to the Ohio. From the Ohio DHL akan hantar all over the world. Then kita tahu kalau kita hantar Ohio dia akan make it faster. Tapi bila kita create kita punya warehouse dekat Ohio dia ada policy which is you kena bayar tax. Jadi kita kata macam mana nak kita tak nak bayar tax tu because kita nak become a very local people pun kena bayar tax. So kita kata kita pergi state yang tak ada bayar macam tu. So kita pergi kebanyakan dia transfer logistik dia dekat Oregon in the North US. So bila dekat Oregon kita beli barang, kita beli sebanyaknya free. And then bila delivery dia biasa free. And then bila dah dapat delivery free, biasanya bila sampai sana barang tu tak ada taxation. Maksudnya tak ada tax, tak ada additional tax on top of that. Bila tak ada tax, maksudnya kita lepas daripada beli sana, and then baru kita hantar barang tu terus daripada Oregon kepada Malaysia. Dan laluan dia memang dia kena pergi Ohio, tapi dia tak pergi secara dia pergi secara transit saja. Dia tak register barang tu kat situ. So tak adalah taxnya, because tax is different. That's why kalau you nak jadi accountant dengan US, you kena tanya, you nak jadi negeri mana tu? You nak pergi dekat Oregon ke, you nak jadi dekat Ohio ke, you nak pergi ke Kentucky ke, so you kena tahu dia punya regulation. That's why nak jadi accountant sana, kena belajar dekat sana. Even SIMA dia ada buat collaboration with this AICPA, collaboration with the chartered accountants dekat US. Tapi untuk kita jadi accountant US tu, we need to take paper dia orang juga. Dia orang tak boleh macam easily dapat transfer macam tu. Walaupun ada collaboration. Because dia ada term yang which is kita nak service kat mana. Maybe to that extent. Jadi tapi since I'm not interested to work in US, so kepada kau lah nak buat apa. Kita tengok. Tapi dia ada standard, dia tak guna IFRS, dia guna GAAP, GAAP. GAAP ni is General Accepted Accounting Principles. So dekat US memang dia guna GAAP. So kalau you bekerja dekat company US yang duduk kat Malaysia, you akan tahulah company dia guna standard GAAP. Tapi susah juga dia nak consolidate dengan, tapi GAAP ni more or less macam IFRS juga lah, sebab IFRS ni pemudah cara kan. Dia sama juga dengan ISO. ISO kan, kalau you belajar ISO, so kat mana ISO tu? ISO kita consider like international standard kan, tapi dia bukan dekat US pun. Okay, so that is international part. Bila Malaysia, this is how structure you nak kena faham institution body sampailah you kena tahu macam mana you on the provincial level dengan MIA. Ini I cuba designkan dia punya map ni supaya you faham. Tapi mungkin kalau salah saya punya error tu pun dia taklah tepat sangat, tapi bolehlah you nak faham how it works on the professional levels tu. Kalau tak faham tanya. Kalau ada silap nanti saya boleh buat correction. Saya baru lagi design tapi flow dia tu macam I think it's just enough for you to understand kat mana MIA, kat mana MACD, so that you understand. Okay, so now almost 9:30. I think susah juga nak stop. Okay, now we look into the comparing IFRS, MFRS, ini salah saja. Dia bukan MMERS, dia MPES. MPES yang atas tu tajuk tu salah. Dalam tu betul. MSAS. So MPES ni kalau dekat UK dia macam small SME lah, small and medium company, dia bukan untuk large. Tapi kalau large, MFRS. Large, even you large offer, you ada option nak buat MPES ataupun MFRS. Sebab yang mewajibkan dia mandatory kalau dia tu public listed company. Public listed company ni maksudnya you punya share tu public boleh beli. So dia kena buat MFRS. Tapi kalau you tak company dia kecil, macam company dia kecil, tapi ada satu anak syarikat saya tu dia public listed company. You dah diwajibkan dah, kena buat juga. So that's why I terpaksa buat my company, I kena buat sebab one of the company tu dia public listed. So we have no choice untuk buat. And then satu lagi accounting dia panggil MPSAS untuk government servant lah. So government servant dulu dia ke arah, dulu dia buat cash basis, sekarang ni dia ke arah accrual basis punya accounting. So you boleh tengok. Okay, this is the branches of the accountings. Dia ada auditing, taxation, forensic accounting, financial accounting, cost and management accountings, and governance accountings. Okay, so in terms of the financial accountings, they are focused on, this is the branches of accounting. So you kena faham, dalam accounting ni bukan you kena belajar accounting saja, dia ada banyak kategori. So yang akan kita cover kita akan fokus lepas ni adalah satu bahagian dia, cost and management accounting. Itu je, cost management accounting kita tak cover semua costing. Kita cuma cover sedikit saja cost accounting punya topik, because we only have one subject. Sedangkan kalau kita belajar accounting, kita ada 14 professional project yang kita kena lulus kan. And we are very focusing kan. That's why kalau kita tengok kenapa professional ada 14 subjek je, kenapa degree kita ada sampai 30 kan untuk 120 hours. Dia lain, objektif dia lain untuk academician dengan untuk professional. Professional ni dia buat dia designkan you punya syllabus untuk you jadi accountants. Tapi degree, walaupun degree accountants, they are not only design you to become accountants, dia nak you holistic. Maksudnya you boleh faham, you boleh belajar soft skill, you boleh belajar English, you boleh belajar ni. So banyak subjek yang you belajar. Just tak compress you. Kalau you tak nak jadi accountant, you boleh jadi benda lain. Contohnya macam tu. Yang ini dia memang fokus. Dia memang professional, dia memang fokus. Dia nak you pass every subject dia tu. Then you become accountants. So in branches of accounting, contohnya dia akan you akan ada a few very focus areas. Sama ada you nak specialize on the financial accounting, you not specialize in auditing, taxation, cost management accounting, policy accounting, or government accounting. So yang ni I terang secara general saja. I nak terang detail pun tak ada masa kan, tak sempat kita nak explain detail. Because saya ni kalau satu slide ni saya boleh explain within 2 hours pun. Saya boleh one of the slide I can explain you about 2 hours story, very nice story. Tapi I cannot do that. You have to study your own. Because I go through all this profession, my career profession memang come across of this. 10 company yang kerja tu semua bermasuk kecuali government accounting. Cuma I bukan on the government, I bukan accountant kat government because my friend pun ramai yang bekerja dekat Putrajaya all the accountant. But I understand how government need to but I buat audit untuk government accounting. Itu je. Memang I involve all this job. Okay, so financial accounting, definitely you kena prepare dia punya end outcome dia, you kena prepare full financial report, termasuk yang macam saya kata lah, income statement, financial position and cash flow. And then auditing. So this is my what we call the longest years of my experience is auditing sebenarnya. Dan auditing ni dia ada dua, bukan internal, bukan external. I have very short experience in external, but I have a long experience in internal auditing. Because waktu tu I bukan degree accounting, so I know that I cannot become accountant. So I have the accounting knowledge, so I will success if I become internal audit. So that is I'm selections. And why my selection on that? And then taxation, I'm interested with the tax. So bila I become the head of the department, I believe that tax is very important. So I established satu department, which is a taxation department, to plan on the tax planning, to do on the tax planning. Dia ada banyak lah when we come across with the taxation ni. It's not only to pay tax to the government, but you need to comply a lot of things. Macam you need to apply, you need to prepare a document untuk transfer pricing. For transfer pricing, you need to prepare all the documents. It's mandatory to prepare. So kalau you ada problem and then bila dia buat audit, dia tengok dokumen untuk transfer pricing tak ada, you akan be imposed with the penalties. And then cost and management accounting, definitely end of my bila I nak jadi accountant, because I'm working in the corporate organization. So instead of I go to ACCA that focus on mainly on financial accounting, so I go to the management accounting, also become accountants, but they are more on the strategic. So that's why at that time I'm taking MBA with Cardiff Metropolitan University in UK, Cardiff, and at the same time I'm taking the CIMA. So bila saya habis, saya dapat dua. Saya dapat master and then I ada CIMA. Kalau you tengok kenapa saya ada dua. And at that time I'm qualified enough to become head of the finance ataupun CFO lah kalau if I interested. And last but not least on the forensic accounting. So I'm an internal auditor. So I buat juga forensic accounting punya job. So I involve all this accounting experience. So kalau saya kata kalau I nak cerita you satu hari pun, satu topik saja I boleh cerita you about 2 hours. But I cannot explain all. Just secara General saja on the branches of accounting. Last year pun dia ada soalan pasal branches of accounting dekat final exam. So you need to explain maybe 2 branches of accounting. You nak explain pasal audit ke, you nak explain pasal taxation ke. Ada soalan keluar final last year. So this is the financial accounting, management accounting. This is the accounting. This is cost accounting, auditing, and tax accountants. Okay, type of accountings, government accounting, policy accountings. Okay, the definition of accounting circles. So this is a very important part actually. Because when you want to understand accounting, you need to understand the full circles of the accounting circles. First, the source document, how it been started, and so forth. So this is very important. The book of prime entries. Okay. Untuk tutorial, I can start dengan accounting circle. Actually, we have a few subject. So I will let Sir Encik Kasran kan. Encik Kasran is very experienced people, experienced guy. He worked many years in UK as the external auditors. He worked in external auditor. He experienced more on external auditors, external auditors. For those who prepare financial statements, he I think is much more experienced in preparing all these financial statements. So you get but I'm not sure either. But I think he's a good guy also. But he's just a part-time for lecturers. It's not meaning for a lecturer. So I think it's good experience if you can get that information. This one is the how you need to explain the user of information, how you will use the first. I think I already explained about all these things. And this is the few definitions. Okay, this is the ethic of financial reporting. And then we have a several scandal because of the big war. The latest one, kalau kat Malaysia ni 1MDB lah. Tapi I pun tak nak lah buat pasal 1MDB kan. So just put dia punya classic, dia punya experience like scandal Enrons. Siapa tahu, kalau tak tahu pergi Google, tengok cerita Enrons punya case. This is very bila external accountant pun dah sekongkor dengan management. Asset dia declare ada dekat luar negara, tapi bila buat audit tak ada pun. So that is the Enron case. Kalau movie pun dia ada buat pasal kita ni. Sebab kalau you tengok movies, at least you boleh pick up cepat the story kenapa dia all these scandals. Dia hiding dia punya billions of dollar, dia punya debt dalam financial statement. Dia tipu financial statement, memanglah. You kata company tu making money, sebenarnya company tu tak ada money. So maksudnya dia tipu financial statement. Siapa yang bersekongkor dengan dia? Audit firms. You tahu tak siapa audit firm tu? Arthur Anderson. Arthur Anderson. This is a very top, one of the top 5, top 4 audit firm in the world. Because of this, they collapse. They collapse, maka tak adalah company tu. Arthur Anderson tutup terus. Arthur Anderson, tak pernah jumpa nama dia, Arthur Anderson. Tapi bila dia dah collapse, macam case lah macam mana. Contohnya macam Kodak collapse ke, Nokia collapse ke. So mana staff dia tu pergi? Bukan staff dia tu collapse semua kan. Tapi kalau Enron, ramai staff Arthur Anderson pergi join EY. Ernst and Young, ramai staff Arthur Anderson join that new company, then that company become top 5 now lah. And then itulah dia punya biggest, main dia memang ditipu financial statement, banyaklah kes dia tipu. So kalau saya cerita pasal Enron ni pun, saya perlukan 2 hours untuk cerita. And then kita ada WorldCom scandals. WorldCom ni dia pun berkenaan dengan dia. WorldCom ni adalah Lush Telecommunications, a company in US also. The company actually is they manipulated financial record and recording expenses of asset to show higher profit. Sini yang tipu financial statement. Dia overstate asset dia dalam 11 bilion. Gila tak gila? Memang teruk lah. So end up yang teruk ni investment lah. Contohnya you kata company ni naik. Harga company ni 10,000 kan? 10 ringgit. You pun beli 1 juta 10 ringgit. Lepas tu you dah invest 1 juta, tiba-tiba company ni kena case macam ni. Duit tak boleh nak dikeluarkan, And then value, dia kata value kalau nak jual ada RM1. So instead of you dapat you expect that you boleh 10 darab dengan berapa, sebenarnya value dah jadi 20 30 je. So you invest, kalau you boleh jual pun you invest, kalau dia drop you invest 1 million, you cuma dapat 1,000 je. Ibarat macam tu lah. So memang dulu kebanyakan orang investor dia buat pinjaman bank untuk beli, because dia kata this is a high position. That's why ramai yang muflis, because of this case. Ramai muflis. So that's why all this scandal is very important untuk kita make sure kita taking control. So that's why kalau you tengok waktu ni Sabana Oakley, based on these two case, Sabana Oakley Act, SOX, dia introduce after the scandal to improve the governance. So bila dia ada acts ni, dia kata you kalau nak buat audit you kena pergi sana. That's why kalau you kerja dekat internal auditors company, biasanya you kena travel all over the world. Because I banyak station dekat London pun because of I'm internal auditors at that time. So you boleh pergi dan you boleh schedulekan jadual you sendiri, bila you boss lah. Kalau you tak boss, you follow instruction. Tapi bila you boss, you boleh schedulekan jadual you nak pergi mana. Okay, then bila you pergi sana dan you punya report tu boleh di-validate oleh external auditors. Ataupun external auditor tu sendiri nak pergi tengok. Kalau you buat bisnes, kalau you ada luar negara. Dia depending. Lagipun satu lagi skandal AIG ni pun ada masalah juga. Dia punya kalau you tengok dia, the company recorded loan as the revenue. Bijak tak? Dia punya loan dia recognize sebagai revenue. Memang kaya lah company ni, tapi tengok value dia tak ada. That's why bila dia orang dia detect dia ada problem, dia tengok daripada dia punya market price tu memang daripada naik dia siapa yang suffer? The director lah, the shareholder lah. You beli 1 juta, tiba-tiba duit tu pergi mana? Duit tu dah jadi RM1. Itu lah. Ataupun duit tu dah tak boleh ambil langsung, company tu collapse. So company collapse, mana duit you? Habis kosong. That's why risiko untuk you loss is very high untuk kalau you beli share market. Tapi macam mana nak reducekan bila you belajar risk management, macam mana nak reduce, maka wujudlah unit trust. Unit trust ni dia beli share direct, lepas tu dia combination, so dia akan jual kepada customer. So customer risiko dia akan kurang, because contohnya katakanlah dia beli saham AIG dengan Lehman Brothers. So Lehman Brothers okay, AIG tak okay, maksudnya masih lagi balance, taklah rugi semua duit dia, tapi amount dia tak besar lah kalau dia in terms of profit. So itu je lah untuk for today, for the tutorial. Untuk section 2, kalau sekarang bagi tahu you nak continue dekat mana, you kata dia baru habis dekat chapter pasal financial statement, dan kita akan start dengan exercise. Exercise untuk tutorial. Tutorial ni kita buat exercise je. So I will continue untuk management accounting untuk next waktu dekat raya, after raya. Kita cuti sampai Monday kan, so I think you have time for raya lah untuk attend a class. Okay, any other questions? Any questions you want to ask?